Welcome to the Linwood Event Center for our provocatively titled workshop, Should Boys Be Allowed to Compete in Girls' Sports?
I started this several years ago when I was growing more and more concerned with the activism. And by my last child, we were at the point of doing hybrid schooling for her because the activism in the classroom had gotten so concerning. The good news is, though, is that there's a huge audience that wants change and they want the information. And by exposing what's happening, I do think that eventually it will make change. It's making people much more aware of what's going on in the public school system. And because I was focused so much on activism in the classroom, it inevitably led me down this road into gender ideology because you cannot avoid it now in the public school system. And I decided to start writing about it. And I started that by opening just a small social media page for the community where I thought naively that if I could just expose some of the things that were happening, people would pay attention, they would vote in new school board directors, and everything would get fixed. And that did not happen. We're in 2026. And have written about it, supported it. I do work with other journalists. And so I've been really fortunate in that respect.
I am currently 16 years old, but my sophomore year of high school, on my very last basketball game of my season when I was 15, there was a boy on the other team, come to find out an 18-year-old man, who was in my locker room as well as playing against my team. Went to my athletic director and principal and expressed my concerns, and there was nothing to be done about it. They told me that this is completely normal and that there's nothing wrong with this going on. Come to find out, they had a meeting beforehand knowing about it, and they didn't tell any of the girls that it was going to happen. Because of this, I was very upset, and I called the man. I said, "You are a man," as I was leaving the basketball game, and because of that, I was investigated for harassment and bullying and subject to progressive consequences. Ever since then, I've been going around and speaking at events and trying to get the initiative signed to keep girls' sports female.
I am a school board director at Linden School District. It is in Whatcom County. This journey started 2 years ago. I didn't imagine, at that time when I was sworn on the board, I didn't know what Title IX was. So to be here right in front of you, being a proponent of protecting girls' sports, having submitted 2 WIA amendments, one last year and one this year, in order to effect change, was submitted by the Linden School District. One of the purposes of that, for me at least, is to protect girls' sports, protect parents' rights, and restore public trust in our school districts. That is very important. I'm happy to be here, sitting amongst very strong women that have the courage to stand alone, having that backbone, and speaking their truth. So, thank you.
I have been an activist and organizer on the topic of gender identity as it pertains to women and girls' safety and boundaries since about online since about 2017. I helped organize an event after Biden came up with his EO on gender identity at the federal level, which impacted, of course, all federal facilities that accepted money, supplanting the category of sex with the category of gender identity. I have stood up in front of the UN. I have stood up in my own town. I also organized an event called Let Julie Swim with Julie Jaman, who is an 80-year-old woman who was banned from the YMCA for life for protecting little girls, and then, of course, was told that she was the bigot because that man turned out to be an employee who was told that he should help those girls. I do a lot of online education, online influencing with my channel, Known Heretic. That is my name on all of my socials. So that is what I focus on in my work.